Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth. Lord willing, it could be edifying. And yes, we are in a war economy. Okay, this is real. The same president that said he was going to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours, the same president that said, you know, he was a president of peace. His actions have showed anything but peace. The Edomite is not able to bring peace. Okay? We're going to get right into this article from zeroheads.com. War economy returns. From trucks to tanks, Pentagon looks to automakers to rebuild America's arsenal. All right, and this is very telling. This shows you that they're in the mindset that we are going to war. Just because you Americans over here are not coming to the grips of the fact that we are in a war economy, you know, which does stimulate the economy. Okay, if you looked at World War II, all right, and they built all these facilities and stuff like that, they had to be transferred, you know, into something else after, you know, they were done making, you know, missiles and whatnot. All right, and you had a boom in the economy. That's where the baby boomers came from, because after World War II, there was a period of prosperity in America. That's where you had the rise of the middle class, and you had the rise of manufacturing, and that's what created that middle class. And now they're getting rid of it. All right, they're about to turn these factories back into war machines, man. So let's read through this. With two active conflict areas in Eurasia, all right, hey, and they, you know, they brought this out. They're not two, and as Elder Malcolm always goes into, they're not two separate continents. Okay, they're not separated. Esau did that shit to try to make a separation. Eurasia. The Russia-Ukraine conflict in Europe, in Eastern Europe, and the U.S. theater in the Gulf, the world is moving deeper into a war cycle, right? And this is leading to World War III. The latest indicator is not only that militaries around the world are beginning to stockpile one-way attack drones, all right, and this is important, remember that, all right, because we're about to bring out scripture, but also the early stage push to convert underused civilian industrial capacity, including struggling auto production lines, into wartime manufacturing hubs. This is serious shit. So this just wherever you Americans have gotten this concept that this is about to be peaceful. No, they're about to transform these damn automaker facilities back into war machine factories, man. That is what's happening. That's reality. Damn what you're seeing on social media. What are they doing? Damn what they're saying. What are they doing? Damn what Trump is saying. What is he doing? They're cutting off China from the Strait of Hormuz. That's a major choke point on the economic scale. So they're continuing to push this. This isn't something that they're about to backtrack. And the Lord is making them drive this forward, because he's about to gather them in the Levant region, in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the valley of the Lord's judgment. And he gonna melt their ass there, man. This is where we are in prophecy. Continuing on, the Wall Street Journal is out with a new report that describes just that, noting that the Trump administration exploring whether U.S. manufacturers, including GM, Ford, GE, General Electric Aerospace, and Oshkosh, can convert civilian industrial capacity into weapon productions, and conflicts across Eurasia drag on and deplete critical weapon stockpiles. The effort to boost the war economy is part of what Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has described as putting the defense industrial base on a wartime footing. Ooh. A Department of War official said the agency is committed to rapidly expanding the defense industrial base by leveraging all available commercial solutions and technologies to ensure that our warfighters maintain a decisive advantage. This is war. This is World War III right here. All right, the big bad bully, they're gearing up. The rest of these nations are gearing up. Everybody's getting ready for the big fight, man. This is the end. Senior defense officials told the outlet that Mary Barra of General Motors and Jim Farley of Ford Motors have been briefed on converting auto production lines into weapons manufacturing facilities. The report did not. Come on, man. The report did not provide details on what type of weapons could be produced in the facilities or on the downtime required to convert those lines. And hey, they might not just be used across seas, man. They might be used here too. All right, keep that in consideration. Those officials said GE Aerospace and vehicle and machinery maker Oshkosh were among other manufacturers briefed. The historical precedent is that America converted its automotive base during World War II to produce record numbers of main battle tanks, bombers, and fighter planes to win the war. Yeah. Okay, that assembly line, that production line, all right, they leveraged that. All right, and then again, they went back after the war. They turned it back into, regular manufacturing, refrigerators, microwaves, and all that shit came about. So this isn't something new. There's nothing new under the sun. They're going right back to it. They're using these facilities for wartime. Let's not forget that GM and Ford both repurposed production lines during the Crown pandemic to produce ventilators. So it's not far-fetched that these automakers could one day be rolling tanks down the production line. One major hurdle is the far leftist unions, which could force labor actions such as strikes, as the broader left-wing ecosystem has transformed, it's that left and right shit, whatever, transformed into a pressure campaign against anything related to Trump, whether foreign or domestic policy. Evidence of converting underused civilian industrial capacity has already been seen with German automaker Volkswagen, which will soon transform its Lower Saxony factory from producing T-Roc cabriolets to manufacturing parts for the Iron Dome missile interceptor system. In mid-February, we highlighted a conversation between Anduril Industries founder Palmer Luckey and Joe Rogan about how the U.S. won World War II. Luckey noted, how did the United States win World War II? Manufacturing. Some of it was new factories, but most of it was taking over old factories. That's why Chinese autos will never flood the U.S. It will destroy the auto industrial base that can easily be converted to wartime production. However, the current left-wing regime in Europe has already chosen to hollow out its industrial core by flooding the continent with BYD cars. All right, and that's the end of that article. So we're in a wartime footing. All right, the beast, all right, or not, rather, he's part of the beast. All right, but the fourth beast, the revived Roman Empire, all right, and the head of that, they're getting ready for war. Is that not prophecy jumping off the page, man? All right, to all the gainsayers and naysayers, when we were when the Spirit had us speaking on World War III years ago, and apostles and elders for decades now, all right, you looked at us like we were crazy. You looked at us as if, we had two heads. But what is your administration currently doing? They're about to turn your automotive factories, all right, hell, they could turn Tesla, the Tesla Gigafactory into a wartime machine, man. This is the reason that they've been proposing a $1.5 trillion military defense budget, because they have the full intent. They know that to maintain their hegemony, they're going to have to fight, man. There's not a diplomatic way to go around this. The big dogs have stepped up. Russia, China. All right, you got Iran not backing down. Even though they might not be nuclear powered, they've put up a fight against Babylon. So now Babylon got to show these motherfuckers like, hey, We still the big dogs of this shit. So they're about to be the aggressors. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Did we not just read? All right, they asked the question, how did the U.S. win World War II? By manufacturing, by converting these factories into, into war facilities. That they're about to do the same thing over again. And they think they're going to win World War III, but World War III is going to end differently. It's going to end with the nuclear destruction of America and what they call the state of Israel. Okay? Let's get this. This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. That's this Edomite, man. And Esau is in control of this last beast. The earth is given into their hands. The hands of the wicked. Who is the wicked? That's Esau, Edom, the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. And he's about to go make these damn devils fight and lose. It says, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Esau's blessing that he received from his forefather Isaac, it says, by thy sword shalt thou live. Okay, not by diplomacy, not by negotiations, not by none of that. By thy sword shalt thou live. So when these negotiations broke down, they're like, fuck that, we about to fight. Because that's what the Lord created this devil for, man. By thy sword shalt thou live. Let's get this. Actually, I want to grab this first. All right, and this is why this war ain't gonna, it's gonna start traditional, ground invasion, but the Lord is gonna put the spirit on these nations. It's gonna be a quicker war, because World War II was what, like 4 years with America in it? This one's not gonna be that long. This one's gonna go nuclear fast, but not until the MOTB is made mandatory throughout the world. But the Lord is doing this concurrent. He's stacking these prophecies on top of each other. That's why we know our salvation is nearer than when we believe. This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. See? So this won't be like the old wars, You line up, even during the Civil War, Revolutionary War, they line up. Salakia, they line up. They shoot. They got to clear that musket out, fill it back up, shoot again. All right, it's their turn. This is going to be a little different. Now you have drone warfare. You got cyber warfare in the midst, man. And there's real footage of drone warfare in Ukraine. And the asymmetric impact that it has, man. To track your ass down and just blow up in your fucking face, man. These soldiers that are American, that are going over there to fight, this is the reality they're about to face, man. And they haven't been ready. They haven't been battle tested. But that's what's happening. You got the hypersonic missiles. All right, you got Israel, when you had this 12-day war and even this conflict, they got going on now, these were missiles being sent, over hundreds of kilometers, hundreds of miles from one spot to another. The nuclear war is going to be intercontinental. From one continent to another, goes up into the atmosphere, comes back down and blows up in the atmosphere, man. That is the day of the Lord. And the only way to escape that is to hide in the secret place of the Most High and abide under the shadow of the Almighty. There's no there's no bunker here in America that's going to escape that nuclear destruction. This is where the Lord is preparing. We'll finish off here. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. See? The Lord has declared them to prepare war, and America is making their move. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the valley of the Lord's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. That's what the Lord is doing, man. This is happening right now as we speak. Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. It's happening, y'all. It's happening. They doing it. The Lord is doing it, man. And nobody can stop it. All right, the way Iran mined the hell out of the damn Strait of Hormuz and they couldn't open it all the way, that was the Lord's doing. You know, the way the Lord put the spirit on Trump to block the whole strait, that's the Lord's doing. All this is the will of the Lord. This was already orchestrated. This was already declared from the beginning. All right. So they're about to turn these automaker facilities back into wartime facilities, man. We're in a wartime economy. All right. That's what I'm about to title this video, Through the Spirit. We're in a wartime economy. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time.